I start at the 35,000-foot level and try and understand why you think the Supreme Court took this case. Normally, the Supreme Court doesn't hear tax cases. Um, the normal pattern for getting the Supreme Court involved doesn't really apply here, in that there was no conflict in the lower court decisions. The judgment in this case was really small. So I'm really curious, why do you think the Supreme Court even decided to take this case?
Well, you're right, Tori. There was no split in circuits. The Moores have only $15,000 at stake. I've actually offered publicly to pay them off if they would go away. There are large amounts at stake. The Moores' share of these offshore profits that had piled up, the Moores' share was very small compared to the $3 trillion offshore profits that were piled up abroad. But it's not really even the other taxpayers who had been subject to the repatriation, the mandatory repatriation tax that Bob described, largely multinationals. They by and large were happy to pay the tax. It was part of a deal where their corporate taxes were cut, the rates were cut, and they paid a transition tax, a one-time tax on these offshore profits. But the reason for the case being pursued is because, as Bob said, the question of whether unreceived income can be taxed. In this case, only $15,000 is at stake for the Moores, but there are many taxes in the code and many taxes on the horizons that could yet be affected. The Moores taxes, and the Moores are just a stalking horse for billionaire taxes, wealth taxes, and capital taxes, in my view.